Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be giving you our August update. And in our August update, I'm also going to be sharing with you the books that we read for July and August. And these are just going to be our family read aloud. So make sure you stick around for that. My name is Morgan here at the Life of Tillmans. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so happy to have you in this space. Okay. Whew. I'm just taking a breather. And that's not a negative thing. It's just a breather. I knew that this was going to happen. August was going to be busy. So let me recap you. We started July the 3rd and we went all month long. The reason why I started us so early is because I knew that volleyball season was going to be taxing on our time. It was last year. I expected it to be this year. And so I wanted to hop on that and be prepared and have us in a good groove for school before we started with sports. And that would also allow us to be able to pull back on some things when volleyball season was like in full swing. So we started in July and the girls were doing volleyball practice. So August first hit, I'll really say July 31st, but the girls had their first game, volleyball game in August, the first week of August. And we just like hit the ground running. So we also do what I call like a soft start, or we stair step into our school year, meaning the first day we didn't start everything. But by the time August hit, we were doing everything with exception of Spanish. And we were doing really, really well. But about the second week of August, I decided that it was just too busy. So I pulled some things from our schedule. Some things that we are not doing right now are spelling, vocabulary, and handwriting for my two oldest daughters. We also stopped for a little while our science curriculum. It was just too much. I thought that it would be a good pattern, but at the beginning of the year, we play a lot of smaller teams that are in smaller towns and we have to leave early from our home. And I know some people may not agree with that. They're like, sports is secondary to education. But one of the beauties of being able to homeschool is that we can make those adjustments according to what we need. And we don't take a 3-month break in the summertime. So our schooling carries over. So I knew that this would happen, but we definitely had to drop some things. And that's okay. I'm adjusting to that. The girls are fine with it. It's vocabulary, spelling, and handwriting. It's not the end of the world. So we're continuing with doing math. They both do easy grammar, 5th and 6th grade for my older daughters, and daily grams along with that. And we also maintained doing our history, which is something that we've really, really enjoyed. So lots of history read alouds, and we're also doing American Story 2, and we are doing the audio version of that, which has really been helpful because we're spending a lot of time in our car. And so my mission from finding books this year is to really try to find things that I can get on audio, like from our library. That's mainly where I go because I don't have like subscriptions for audiobooks, but I can also grab them off of YouTube if someone does a read aloud there. That has been so helpful because sometimes we're in the car for an hour and 45 minutes one way. We've done that twice this season already, and we have about 3 or 4 more opportunities where we will have to be in the car traveling to a game for over an hour. So having audiobooks for us is a big deal. So I'm really on the hunt for those via our local library and also YouTube. And if I have to do a subscription, then I will. So let me know in the comments, like, what's your favorite subscription for audiobooks? Because I'm gonna need that. I know over the next couple of months. We still have 2 months left of volleyball season and then we'll be done. So that's how things have been going. We've only just dropped those 3 things in our science, and we have picked back up with our science as well. And I'm going to have to make some adjustments to the schedule that I put out, and I'll link that video for you guys down below if you want to check it out, just to kind of recap how we're doing our schedule. But I'm going to have to make some adjustments because we took additional days off of certain subjects, which will make me have to replan things, and I'm okay with that. That's not an issue at all. Baby girl is still doing her thing. She finished Logic of English Foundations B, and we have been waiting on the workbook for C to come in the mail, and it's finally here. But we got some good time to where we could just read and play games. And the free time, she's really excited about the free time. I've been telling her like, hey, let's do free time. And so that is something I'm going to incorporate. I feel like it's been missing. There's just been something missing from her learning. And I believe that that's it. Not free time of like run around the house all crazy and everything, but like free time where she and I can just sit down and do something that she wants to do. So every day for the last week, week and a half, she's gone to our closet, is what I call it, or our game bins, and she's pulled out something for she and I to do, which has been so nice. And she looks forward to that time, and we have a really great time doing it. So I've actually reevaluated how fast we're going to go through the curricula that she is in, which is Saxon Math 1 and also her Logic of English Foundations curriculum. We are about to start C, because I want us to have a day where we can just do something that she wants to do. Still educational as well, but maybe not spend every single day going through a lesson in each one of those curricula, just giving us an opportunity to change things up. Also, in the month of August, we took our first 8th week off. We're doing 7 weeks on and 8 weeks off. And it came at the perfect time because we have volleyball every single day that week. If it was not a practice, it was a game or a tournament. And volleyball tournaments are all day, y'all. Like, you get in the gym at like 8 or 9 o'clock and you don't leave until like 5 or 6 o'clock. It is all day long. And so we've had a lot of that week. So it was really nice for us to be off. The downside to that was a lot of the things that I had planned for us to do during that week, which I talked about in my planning video, where I'm talking about how we get like our chores and get those things organized and do deep cleaning and stuff. Some of the things we did not get to, and that's okay. It just worked out that way. That's just how it went. But not having to do school that week was really perfect. It was perfect because there's no way that we would have gotten it done. It would have added additional stress to all of us trying to make sure that we are doing school and getting all the volleyball things done and everything. And I know, y'all, there are some people out there that are like, what? I can't believe you're building your school schedule around volleyball. Yes, we absolutely are, because I know that on the other end, on the other side of this volleyball, are some super hardworking, highly educated, fun-loving girls who are going to excel, and we're going to do great. And so I don't feel like we are losing anything by cutting back on some of what we're doing for school to make room for volleyball. But during that week that we had off, other things started as well. My baby girl started back to gymnastics, and then we also started back with homeschool band. So that made the week even more chaotic. I can't really complain about it because it has worked out, and I say this is all the favor of God, but it worked out. It could not have been a better week, even though, you know, we were out of school and it was still super busy and we didn't get to everything. And so when I'm talking about chores, we have also made some adjustments in that, because I did a whole chore schedule. Now on a regular day when we don't have volleyball practice from 1 to 3 and games where we have to leave our house at 12 o'clock and we don't get back until like 7 at night to get to games and all of that, our chore schedule would fit perfectly with that life without volleyball. But life with volleyball, it does not work for us. And so we have gone to necessity chores only. And what that means is bathrooms, kitchens, schoolroom. Those areas are cleaned. We keep them clean every day, every week, no exceptions. We also are doing laundry, of course, because that is an absolute necessity. But everything else, no, we are not dusting our house once a week. I am not deep cleaning zones in my house once a week. No, we're not in that space right now. My refrigerator still needs to be cleaned out and under and behind and all the things. We are maintaining our home the best that we possibly can, keeping the areas that we are frequently using clean. Bathrooms have to be clean. We need a clean kitchen. We cannot function without one, and we have to do laundry. We are vacuuming once a week instead of every day. We are sweeping the hallway outside of the kitchen once a week instead of doing it every day. We're mopping our floors once a week. Like, just some things had to be set down to the side, and it's okay. Our house is not a filthy pit, but it's also not spotless. We live in it, we have a life, we move around, and so we just had to condense what we were doing. Obviously, other things like trash are getting taken out, of course, guys, but we're just not really sticking to that schedule in this season right now. We are just working on specific areas, and once we are done and we have that everyday time to be able to do those things in the evening like we've done in the past, we're going to go right back to that schedule. This is just a season for us that is really busy, and we just have to make it work. Instead of pushing against it, trying to take control of things that we literally have no control over. I don't have control over the volleyball schedule, how much time it takes for us to get there. Yes, I could pull my girls out of volleyball, but that's not what they want. And I don't want that for them either. So we make adjustments in other areas of our lives. And it actually makes us feel really good. It takes a lot of the stress off of feeling like we have to meet these specific standards all the time, every day, or we're failing. Because if that was the case, we would be failing every single day because we're just not able to get to all of it right now. One thing that I did say to my girls is that don't look at this as an expected thing in the world. And what I mean by that is I tell them, if you were in a public school or a private school, you would not have the option to say, oh, volleyball season is really busy. Can I drop these 3 or 4 subjects? That is not a possibility in that area of your life. So I tell them to look at what we're able to do as a privilege, as a true blessing to be able to have that flexibility. And I hope that they appreciate it. Now, there will come a time in their lives where they are under this roof and homeschooling that we may not be able to make those types of allowances. And when that time comes, I believe that they'll be prepared and they'll understand and know what it is that I'm referring to. But for right now, it's not as serious as what it possibly may be when they get older. So while we have the chance, we're going to take advantage of that. But that is something that I do talk with them about so that they understand that this is not just the norm for you to say, I want to drop it. I want to prepare my girls for the world, right? I want to prepare them to be able to live in the world, not do everything that the world does, but to live in the world and understand that not everyone is going to give them some of the privileges and the allowances that they have within our homeschool life, but they are going to be educated. And that is the goal of homeschooling. Whether you do it on a Saturday, a Sunday, every other Tuesday, whatever, if your children are learning, that is the goal. We have also been doing Saturday school. Speaking of saying Saturdays, we've been doing some things on Saturdays. Typically, it may be like our science or our history or creative writing. We have been doing some of those things on Saturdays when we don't have tournaments because during the week, it just gets a little busy. And I like for the girls to go to sleep at their designated bedtime whenever possible, because that helps set the tone for the rest of the week, for the days to come. And if we're on a constant rotation of going to bed late and waking up early, that makes for really tired children, tired mama, and it just doesn't work out that great for us. All right, so let's talk about some of the books that we have read. I want you guys to make sure you subscribe to the channel because I was gonna try to do all of the books that all of my girls are reading. However, that's too many books and I'm not the one reading those books cover to cover. So I felt like it would be best if that came from my daughters. So my oldest 2 daughters, I'm gonna do videos with each of them, sharing with you guys every month what they read, and they're just basically going to give you a review. So hopefully your children, if they're in that age range, can watch the video and kind of get an idea of what my girls are reading, and maybe that might help. One of the subscribers said that she was going to show a previous video where my daughter was in to one of her children to see if they would like some of the books or anything. So I thought every month I'll just do that. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos. So what I'm going to share with you guys now are the read alouds that we've done as a family, and I'm also going to share with you my first grader's books that she has been reading. So toward the beginning of July, we finished The Wild Robot. Love this. I just love it. I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out. And speaking of, we also finished the 2nd book, The Wild Robot Escapes. Not sure where the cover is, but it's gone. But we finished this one as well. The 3rd book comes out in like 2 weeks, I believe. I'm excited. It's already in my cart. I will definitely be buying it so that we can finish the series. We finished up this one, the last maybe 15 chapters via audiobook, and it was so good. I mean, she did an amazing job. All of the different voices within the book, all of the different characters, it was really nice. So I will probably do, if it's the same narrator, I will do the 3rd book in audio as well. I'm still going to buy the book, but I'll do it in audio as well so that, as I said, when we're traveling, we can listen to it. These books have held my first grader. She is like, what's happening with the robot? Are there any pictures? And there are a few pictures within the book, just kind of random here or there. Not a whole lot, but she does love to see the pictures, but she's really captivated by the story. So the Wild Robot series, if you have not read that, started it, you should go and grab it. Another one that we read, and this goes along with our history curriculum, and this is From Slave to Soldier. And we're just reading some different read alouds that go with kind of in the time period that we are learning in America's Story 2. I don't read them exact on the dot. I gave up on that. I feel like we're just going to read the books, and at least the girls will have some knowledge of it. It may not be exact in that year, but it's within the time frame that we're learning about, so they will have a recollection of that. Another one that we read was The Daring Escape of Ellen Craft. That was a really great book. I did not know any about that story. I was really glad to have read it. It was very educational for me as well. So I did some additional research because I just wanted to know more. I was so captivated by that. So another one that we read is Abe Lincoln, The Boy Who Loved Books. This was a really cool book, and this is actually a recommendation from the other history curriculum that we kind of pull books from, Our History, His Story. And so I've talked about that one. I will link my history videos down below where I share just kind of the history curriculum we're using and what I felt about it, but we're still working through that one. So this was a book suggestion for that one. Another book that we read is What Lincoln Said. And that was a good one. So we're learning about the Civil War right now. So Abraham Lincoln, all those things. So we have lots of books on that. And then we have this one that we read, and this is Ben and the Emancipation Proclamation. And this is about a little boy who learns how to read, and he tries to keep it a secret, but some of the other slaves know that he can read. And this is right around the time that the Emancipation Proclamation was signed, and so he's able to read that news to the other slaves that he is with, and it just brings excitement and joy for all of them in this story. So those are read alouds that we did over July and August. We also started Heart and Soul, and this is the story of America and African Americans. We are like on chapter 3. I'm enjoying this. We've had this book now for a while, and I've never picked it up and read it. It is a book that comes highly recommended in a lot of different diverse history curricula. The graphics, oh my gosh, they're amazing. This is a really, really great book. I do truly enjoy it so far. And so we're just going to read through this. We typically read about 1 to 2 chapters a week. Like I said, I believe we're on chapter 4, maybe chapter 4, because we've been reading for a couple of weeks. So reading that. And then this book, this is Little Pilgrim's Progress. And this came as a recommendation over on Made to Homeschool. If you're not sure what Made to Homeschool is, it is an online homeschool community with printables, and I do content over there. A lot of YouTube creators, we do exclusive content over on Made to Homeschool. For all of the premium members, there are different circles where we talk about books, curricula, prayer circles, so many other things. If you are homeschooling high school or middle school, early elementary, littles, there is a circle for everyone, and we do so much talking and sharing of information. It's a beautiful community. If you are not a part of it, I will put the link down below so that you can check that out. But thank you to the mamas who suggested this book. We are a couple of chapters into it. I guess it's lined out like chapters. It has like main chapters, and then each one of those chapters has a chapter number, I guess is what I'll say. So we're loving it, all of the girls. And so my oldest daughters have been reading it as well. This will definitely take us some time, of course. It's a fairly thick book, but we are really enjoying this right now as well. All right, now I'm going to share with you the books that my youngest daughter has been reading. And I did do a book list for her of some reads that we're going to get through this year. I'm going to link that down below. And honestly, we have not touched hardly any of those books. But that is because she is working through the Logic of English Foundations B readers. And I just allow her to read these over and over and over again. These are decodable books that go along with the curriculum, and they are set and scheduled based on the phonograms that she is learning. And this is very helpful for her. These books really help to build her confidence in her reading, and we just have a really good time with them. Sometimes I will have her read all of them, maybe not all of these in one day, but I will have her read like 4 or 5 of them because they're not super long books, and she'll read those. And then other times I'll have her read 2 and then I'll read the other 2 or 3. We're just kind of going back and forth with it like that. So she's spending a lot of time in these books. We are moving on to level C, and that also has readers that come along with that, so she'll move with that. She also completed the Bob book set, and this is beginning readers, and so we're going to move on to the next set. I checked this out from the library, so I'll be returning this one. That's where she's been spending a lot of her time reading, and I'm really just trying to help build her confidence with reading. She's still not reading independently. I have a lot of mixed feelings about that, and I pray about that often because it's just something that it can be challenging. It can be challenging to teach your child how to read, and there's so many factors that go along with it. Their desire, our confidence, their confidence, what we're using, how we're teaching them, the excitement that we bring to the table, the frustrations. I mean, there's just so many different things. She woke up the other morning and she's like screaming from upstairs, like, I don't want to do school. And I'm like, oh Lord, help me, because that is not how we want to start our morning. But she did well. We transitioned into the day really, really well, and it turned out great. But there are definitely some days where she has tears when she is reading, or she says that it's too hard. But a lot of that is confidence because it's books that she's read before, like these Bob books, and she knows the words in them. It's just sometimes, I don't know, we just don't want to do it. And I'm not that mom that says, okay, you don't have to read today. Yes, you do have to read today. You have to read every day. Reading is an essential part of your learning, especially at this age. And so while I don't want her to hate reading and never want to do it, I also don't want to start a pattern of, if I say I don't want to do something, then I don't have to do it. She does have to learn how to read. It's not optional. And she does not have any developmental issues that are keeping her from growing in her reading. She does great. She just doesn't want to do it all the time. So I make sure that I find things that are interesting if I can. But right now we're just really focusing on reading those decodable books that go along with her curriculum so that it actually just makes it easier for her. Otherwise, if I pick up other books that have blends and phonograms and things like that that we haven't gone over, that makes it even more challenging. So we're just in that really kind of like sticky space. I know some of you mamas can relate, and we're moving through it slowly, which is part of the reason why I'm going to pull back too on her curriculum just a little bit to kind of give us some space to do more reading. And so when we had our week off from school, that's all we did. I did that with her every single day, and it worked out so good. Like, she just got into a groove. And we would do it when she wanted to. So maybe she didn't want to read first thing in the morning. And I'd say, okay, well, what time do you want to read? Do you want to read right before lunch? Do you want to read right after lunch? And she would kind of give me a time. And I would give her some options. And she would choose those options. That helped a lot with her desire to read. I also would set a timer, and she would know she has 30 minutes to read. And we would sit there and we would go through the reading. And she knew that once that timer went off, that she was done. So setting those boundaries, giving her the options, that has been a huge help. So if anybody else out there is struggling with getting your child to really dive into it and just love that part of it, those are a few things that have helped us, and hopefully they'll help you. Another book that we have been reading that she loves, she's like, can we go get the Danny book? And this is What Should Danny Do? And this book actually has 9 different stories in it, but it's a book about what children should do. It gives them some form of like a moral situation where they have to, they can either choose to be angry or happy or help someone or, not. And so it gives her options and she gets to choose. She goes through the book and she says, okay, I want to be nice. And then we go through it and we read to the end. Whenever there's options available, we'll choose. I'll let her choose whatever the option is. So this has been a really fun book. We have not gone through all 9 stories. I think we've done about 3. And so we're going to keep going. We have another one that's like Danny on Vacation or something like that. There are a lot of these books in the series. So check some of these out if you are interested in kind of giving your child some, like, you know, moral choices type of thing and seeing what they do. Okay, so moving forward, what we are going to do as far as our plans, we are going back to our science. We're going to continue with our history and our creative writing. And creative writing is typically done on Fridays. There are a couple of Fridays where we will not be able to do it because we have tournaments and that's all day. But we'll probably just switch to a Saturday like we've done in the past. And the girls do creative writing 1 day a week. Also, we are about to start our second 8-week rotation, which means that weeks 5, 6, and 7, we are going to be doing literature studies. Yay! I'm excited about this. The girls are too. They are ready to get into a literature study. I'm going to link the videos down below where I share our plan for ELA for my 5th and my 6th grader. So if you have someone in that grade level, check out those videos to kind of see how we have all of these ELA moving parts going in our home. And in those videos, that's where I share that our weeks 5 through 7 are going to be for literature studies. I am super, super excited. So we are going to end this 8-week rotation with literature studies. So the girls are about to get into that. Other than that, we're just going to keep everything the same because we still have volleyball going on. So we're going to be sticking with our math and with our grammar. And then we're still doing writing strands. Also, I forgot to mention that, but we are still doing our writing. The girls are doing that pretty independently Monday through Thursday. So that's working out great. We have not dropped that at all. Another thing is the girls cashed in on all of their summer reading things toward the beginning of August. They were participating in 3 summer reading programs and they were able to go and get free books for all of those programs. They got about 6 or 7 books a piece through those 3 different reading programs because at half price books you got like $10 and some of the books that they found were really low cost, and so they were able to get more than 1 or 2 books at half price books. It worked out so amazing. They have not read any of those books yet, but they are on our shelves for the girls to read, and they got to pick what they wanted, which is awesome. So they love cashing in and getting those books for the summer reading programs. So I want to share a couple of things with you guys. I'm going to share with you something that was exciting that happened over the last couple of months, something that made me smile, and then my thoughts about the last couple of months. I'm going to do that with every single monthly update. And if you're not aware, I do monthly updates monthly. I put them all down in a playlist, and I'm going to link that playlist. And what this does for you guys, hopefully, is to help you kind of see the progression of our homeschool for the year. You will find out if we drop something in curriculum, if we pick something up, or anything like that. You will get all of the details on that. So that is why I do monthly updates. So something that exciting happened over the last couple of months is that Maggie actually had an opportunity to participate in a robotics coding program, which will lead to a competition in November, and it has been completely free. It is called the First Lego League. I don't know exactly where all of the places are, but a friend of mine called me and she's like, Maggie loves coding. Y'all need to check this program out. And I was like, yes, we are doing it. So every Wednesday for the past month, we have been going to the library and meeting with Maggie's team of students, and all of their ages range from like 10 to 12 or 13 years old. They are all in a group and they have to put together a robot, and it has to go through all of these different challenges. They also have to do an innovation project. They are really having to think. They have to code this robot to do all of these different challenges. It's been so eye-opening, very exciting, and Maggie is loving every bit of it. Something that has made me smile over the last month is my oldest daughter is like really clinging to me, and not in a way of like she can't function without me, but more like, Mom, can I have a hug? Mom, I love you. Mom, what are you doing? She's talking to me, in which we've had a growing great relationship, but this is new for me because she is my oldest. And so that makes me smile. It really warms my heart. And while she is coming to me and talking to me and wanting more physical hugs from me, she is also growing in her independence, which, yes, it makes me smile, but it also makes my mama heart a little sad because I'm like, no, but she's growing up. And so I do love that. And my thought over the last month is, when you're giving 100%, we have to know that even that 100% may not be enough to do everything that we think we are supposed to do. Because sometimes we put way too many things on our plate, and we're not supposed to do all of those things. And so while we feel like we're not doing enough, we really are doing enough. Remember that, guys.